Hi, I'm Jochen Schlese from Schlese Saddlery Service. Today I'd like to talk to you about the 9 points of saddle fitting for the Western saddle. My passion is to protect horse and rider from long-term damage. I see a lot of people out there to fit their horses but unintentionally hurt the horses. My focus is doing research on horses' back with experts around the world with biomechanics for horse and rider, as well as a lot of scientific research. I want to simplify it with the 9 points of saddle fit for the Western saddle. So please join me and let's go through the step one by one. So before we get going and go into the individual 9 points of saddle fitting, I'd like to draw your attention to the horse's back. I have drawn a figure here what humans use since 4,500 years and figured out where the horse can carry the most weight for a long period. I like to also point out the modern technology, what our grandfathers knew, what areas is extremely sensitive to the horse. The flank area is where absolutely no pressure should be. Now the difference between pressure and contact I will go into a little bit later through the individual stops. Between each vertebrae there are nerves and veins coming out, and we don't want to hit those nerves. So the channel is very important, which we address later on as well. Probably the worst area for the horse to experience any kind of pressure is in this triangle right through here. We don't want any pressure in this area. I'm going to go more in detail when we talk about the tree width and the tree angle. So the next area, what is very important, is this point right here. Very important for endurance riders or long distance riders. This is the MP13, the lung meridian point. If the saddle pressures there too much, the horse will not use their full breathing, and as a competitive rider, as a trail rider, as a hobby rider, that's not what I want to do to my horse. Same stuff your ears are made of, cartilage. It's a huge blob of cartilage on top of every horse's shoulder blade, and that is something we do not want to damage. So you see there's a lot of red, but you also see there's an area right here. That's the area where we're going to focus when we go through the 9 points of saddle fit. The next tip is a very important tip. It is the shoulder angle and the bar angle. The angles of the Western bars have to be parallel with the shoulder angle of the horse. So how to determine what is the angle of the bars and what's the angle of the shoulder of the horse, and why is it so important? If the bar angle does not measure and matches the shoulder angle of the horse will trip, it do severe damage to the cartilage of the horse gets really hollow, stumbles, won't go forward, and starts to bite when you girth up your saddle. What I recommend is to get 2 sticks or dressage whips. You can see here the spine on the shoulder blade. You put one whip on this side, and just to tell you where the angle is measured, the other angle, you can see the whip on the other side, right through here. That gives you the angle. This tool here, which is over 110 years old, is designed to measure on the horse the shoulder angle. So what we're trying to do is, if this is the horse and this is the saddle, that they line up, that this is parallel. So let's put a saddle tree on top and let's have a look how that looks. So here we have a saddle tree, put it on, and what we want to see if the bar matches the angle of the shoulder. In my previous tips I mentioned the flare of the bar. You can see this particular one is digging in. In this tip I'd like to talk to you about the angle. So here we have the angle on the bars, and if I use this, you can see that these 2 whips are not parallel. This has a much flatter angle, the bars, and the shoulder angle is much steeper. Definitely a very bad fit on the angle. So let's have a look when we put a saddle on. Put your saddle on the right spot. Find the flat spot on the shoulder blade. Don't put it on top, because that would be on top of the shoulder blade. You want to keep your hands 8 inches below from the withers and then push it flat on. This particular bar, same way, a little bit better than the tree, but I run it parallel with the piping here, and you can see this particular tree, this western saddle here, the bars are not parallel. On this particular saddle, same thing, go to the highest point of the withers, go 8 inches down, push this flat. This particular saddle has split bars, so you don't go to the top, you go to the bottom bars, and you can see here, if you line the bottom bars up, this whip, both of them are absolutely parallel now. This is vital, and that's how the bar has to fit. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you find these tips very helpful. This is my calling, my passion. I like to protect horse and riders from long-term damage. Everything I showed you here, if it's your own horse, if it's your Olympic horse, if it's your pleasure horse, you will see he will be thanking you by you knowing more where the saddle can and should not sit. Thank you very much.